What's good, y'all? This is C, Certified Brewhead.
I'm Scott Beer Cole, beer enthusiast, and this is Beer and Other Shit.
Episode 17, the podcast, bitches. What's good? We are coming at you live from Shelzy's Whip. Live and direct from Front Street.
Rolling the streets of Toronto,
Ontario.
Oh, actually, there's a landmark right there.
Look at that. Get that shit. So, episode 17. We are just coming off a dope interview with Shehan, aka Shehan from Lost Craft Beer. We just hit up Batch Brewery, had a nice little interview.
Some delicious food, some good beer.
It was fantastic.
Good times had by all.
Damn right it was. So we're about to get into that, but really quick, sponsors. Scotty, sponsor number one.
What are we going to start with? Illnote Studios?
Illnote Studios.
Sure, why not?
The reason this podcast sounds so lit is motherfucking Notion, illnotestudios.com. He mixed it. If you got any audio shit, he mixed, mastered, any of that stuff. And also production, illnotestudios.com. Mention the podcast and he'll give you 15% discount. That's what's up. Number two.
The BrewHeads?
TheBrewHeads.com. BrewHeads is a craft beer merchandise company based out of Phoenix, Arizona. Shout outs to Philip Pinston, because this is the episode. Shout outs, because this is what we're doing. We're shouting out every motherfucker.
Shout out!
And you need that. You're going to hit up TheBrewHeads.com. You're going to put the code.
No.
Come on, you got this.
BAOS?
Bam! BAOS. And you're going to get 15% discount off whatever you order. And that's going to let Uncle Phil know that you're a mad cunt and you know what the fuck you're talking about. And the third one...
Come on. Who is the third one?
Do you know what, this episode? Well, we have multiple different... We had Original Gentleman, we also had with shout-outs, and we also had Toronto Urban Adventures for Jason.
Yes, we did.
Are we doing that again?
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again. Jason Cooch. Kucharawi.
Big ups.
And
Beer Wizard.
Beer with it. If you go to TorontoUrbanAdventures.com and you use the code BrewHead, you're going to get
singular, not plural.
Singular, correct. You're going to get 20% off your beer tours, and there's a couple of different beer tours. Sign up there. Tell them that we sent you. It's finna be lit. They'll take you around all the bus spots in Toronto. And I think we need a theme song. Let's do a theme song. Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Y'all are brewheads? Yeah, we brewheads. So pour a glass of craft beer, we can do this. Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Y'all are brewheads? Yeah, we brewheads. So pour a glass of craft beer, we can do this. Yeah. Are you a brewhead? You cunts are brewheads.
Yeah, we brew it.
Yeah, oh mate, that's a joint. Never gets old. Never gets old. Love rapping my own shit.
Real talk.
And Scotty, I heard that you were in California recently.
I was the epicenter for craft beer in North America.
Was that effectively lit?
It was cool, man. Yeah, it was like a different vibe to see kind of how the Americans do it compared to how we do it, and they do it big there. Yeah. And there's no lack of variety and choices there, so fantastic. I was lucky enough to try a sample of Pliny the Elder, the beer that was after. Woo! And it was cool. I mean, maybe not cracked up to all the hype, but I think I'm still Team Heady when it comes to that. But
conveniently.
Yeah, but I tried among the few other beers I had. Goose Island Bourbon County Stout was phenomenal, but I think we're gonna save that for another episode. We'll get into that
we'll
one.
Do that.
I was lucky enough to bring one back with me, so we get to try that out. So
yes,
I actually took a little audio clip of my sampling experience with Pliny. So
I think we should throw to that so y'all can hear what Scotty thought. Pliny. Yeah, we brewheads, so pour a glass of craft beer, we can do this. Yeah.
What is going on? This is Scott Beer Cole. We are in Santa Monica, California. I am at Father's office having my first pint of Pliny Elder. I am with a bunch of beautiful blondes.
Yeah.
I couldn't expect a better atmosphere to be drinking what is dubbed to some as the best beer in the world, the best double IPA in the world. So what we wanted to do is kind of have my initial reactions of is it as good as all the hype makes it up to be? So cheers, guys.
Cheers.
From me to you. Let's see what this beer is all about. I'm tasting the beer now as it goes into my mouth. It's good. It's good. Really lingering bitter aftertaste. It's less piney as I thought. Very floral. Sweet first taste, but again that bittering, lingering aftertaste. I can't really compare it to a Heady the Top or something like that. It's a completely different experience. I'm not gonna lie, not really mind blowing like I may have worked it up to be. I think I'm Team Heady on this one, but it's a good IPA, and I'm going to continue to drink it and learn about it and enjoy it in this beautiful atmosphere. So Scott Beard Cole signing out.
So pour a glass of craft beer, we can do this. Yeah.
Damn, son.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. Auntie Shelly recorded that, and bleh. So
Original.
well,
It's an original.
it's an original. Well, I'm stoked you got to try it. I'm not even really that surprised. It's not that good.
Yeah, when it's hyped that big, you can't really
You
expect
can't live
too
up
much,
to it.
right?
I'm somewhat happy because Heady is like our neighbor.
Yeah,
it's in Vermont.
that's
It's
what I'm
right
saying.
fucking there. Whereas it's not that easy for us to get out to San Diego to try Pliny and stuff. So I'd like to do a side-by-side tasting. Let's aim for
We're
that
gonna have
this summer.
to next time. Yeah, that's
We'll
definitely
get a
the
bottle
summer.
and we're gonna, I'm gonna have my visa. Shout outs to Canada. Should have my visa next week. By the time this comes, I haven't seen that Toronto sun. That
Yeah,
looks
it's
lit.
first time I saw it today too.
We should do a
actually.
podcast at the front of that shit. Yeah, we're gonna go to Vermont. We're gonna be headed it up. Don't even worry about that shit, cunts. Y'all ain't even ready for the amount of headies you're
Y'all
about
are
to
gonna
be
know
pumped.
though.
Y'all are gonna
know.
fucking know, cunts. So, it's a lengthier episode, probably around 50 minutes for the interview there, close to. So we're going to keep this short. Once again, shout outs to Lost Craft. It's a great episode. Batch Brewery. All the beers were fucking fantastic, by the way. I don't think we really talked about it in the podcast, but we just had a flight after the fact. And the 4 beers, Cream Ale, Pale Ale, Porter, and the Irish Red Ale were all really, really phenomenal. It's a brand new brewery, only been open 2 weeks. So that was super cool. Shout outs to Kyle as well, who was the server. Once again, beerandothershit.com. So we're on YouTube. This is our 3rd video podcast, by the way. So, if you're hearing this, there's also video. We're in a whip right now. And shout out to Tiffany. Yeah, filming this. LXH Films, you know what I'm saying? Holding it down. High Season Movement fam, you know what it is. And, YouTube, search for Beer and Other Shit YouTube. There's a bit.ly link, and it's in the show notes. That's probably it's in the show notes. If you're watching the video, then fuck. So subscribe to us on YouTube, subscribe on iTunes, Mixcloud, and Spreaker. We all over the motherfucking internets. Facebook as well, Beer and Other Shit. Follow Scott at Scott Beer Cole. I'm at C4. We got at Star Lexus, and we got at Shellsey SHELLESEY. That's the fucking fam. And also, of course, Lost Craft Beer at Lost Craft Beer for everything. Episode 17, Beer and Other Shit. Catch your cunts.
Yo, what's going on?
What's good, yo? This is C Certified Brewhead.
I am Scott Beer Cole, beer enthusiast, and we are with
The beer philosopher.
That's it.
What's your name, though?
Shin.
And who do you represent?
Lost Craft.
Damn right, bitches.
Represent.
So, yeah, man, we've mentioned you a few times in the last couple of podcasts. And so Shehan runs a brewery called Lost Craft, and it's a fantastic new brewery. We're going to talk about that shit today, and we're going to be drinking the beer, which we've been sitting in front of us for like 15 minutes.
Too long.
So we're like, fuck it, we're going to pour this goddamn thing again.
First things first, let's pour our beers.
So also, welcome to the episode 17 of Beer and Other Shit.
Correct.
Yeah,
that is
just say that in case you were listening. Like, what the fuck is this? All right, so pour
them
this
up,
bad
boys.
boy. So what's this beer? Tell us about it.
So, this is the best lager ale in the world.
I like it.
To ever grace shows.
I like it.
In the
The beer is
LCBOs.
called Revivale. It's a Kolsch style ale. Brought the recipe design coming back from Germany. Worked with an amazing brewmaster named Jamie Mystery here in Ontario, who did the final recipe development on the beer. It's the whole Lost Craft concept. It's a back to basics concept of brewing.
I love that.
4 ingredients: Northern Brewer hops, Pilsner malts, Kolsch yeast. Very simple but meticulous. Like Jamie's a genius who helped me put put this beer together, and it just came from a need to make that easy drinking, simple beer that I just kept lacking. Felt like they kept lacking kind of in.
Yeah, right. Totally.
Exactly. Well, first of all, cheers guys.
First things first.
Cheers.
Cheers. Prost.
Cheers. Careful. Scroll that. Chelsea. Oh, this is the first one. Yeah. So what do we smell? Talk us through it. Let's do this properly.
It's got a bit of fruit notes in there, and that's just it's the brewing style. When I went to Germany on my beer pilgrimage, I went to Cologne and I fell in love with the Kolsch style. For those that have been out there, you'll know. Kolsch is is one of the interesting, easy drinking, probably the most easy drinking German beer. Although all of them are very easy drinking. It's a lighter style beer, but it has a lot of flavor to it. You're drinking something interesting when you're drinking that beer, but it's also one of the smoothest, if not the smoothest, European style beer that you can drink.
I always liken it to to me it's like a BAOS lug tread. Like it's an easy drinking, light, crisp beer, but tons of flavor. Like this is a beer I would give to someone who doesn't know about beer, doesn't know about craft beer, and I'd want to introduce them to something other than the shitty macro beer that they're drinking on a day-to-day basis. Like this is your day-to-day crusher beer. That's what I'm saying. Get home from work and crack it on a hot summer day. Crack one of these out on the patio. Perfect.
100%. I think that's the key. I feel like we get caught up as beer nerds, whatever you want to call us. Like we get caught up in the hot,
biggest, most
fucking burn your face off shit and the experimental stuff, and that stuff is cool. But I guess this is a harder style to make. To make this type of a lager ale or a Kolsch that is flavorful, that's interesting to drink, that you can drink, it's sessionable. It's fucking hard, eh? So Jamie, was it?
Jamie's the brewmaster. He's Lost Craft's kind of resident brewmaster genius.
Had he done other stuff in the past?
Oh yeah, he's been he's worked at a lot of other breweries kind of in Ontario.
Sick.
Very, very well known, super reputable guy, and the thing is exactly on point with what you said. Is exactly how all these German brewmasters that I met in they said this exact same thing. They're like, look, it's very easy to make a triple hopped IPA.
Right.
It's just you're adding extra ingredients. I mean, it's easy to make, but it's very doable. To make a balanced beer that has a ton of flavor that's easy drinking is super hard. It's not an easy task. That's something that will take 200 brews to do.
Yeah.
So that was their whole philosophy. Look, if you're gonna do those types of beers, if you want something with longevity, you've got to make it balanced. Having a beer that someone can drink one of, it's as you can logically tell, it doesn't make sense on a long-term basis. It's not something that has a lot of viability to it.
Right.
You need something that has a great flavor profile that's different, but that gives you that balanced, clean finish that you can go back to time and time again, whether it's on the same day or another day. You know what I mean? It's that style.
Was there a trial and error period during the making of this beer? Were there some kind of recipes you tried that maybe weren't quite right, and you finally came upon this one, or was it bang, first time it was this is the one?
First time.
Yeah, just it was so good. You're that's it.
There's a lot of things with Lost Craft that kind of just came together at the right time. The beer was one of them. Me and Jamie had a few discussions about it, and based off the feedback that I gave him from my trip and his genius, instantaneously.
Nice.
From concept to beer being poured, it was less than 6 months. Which for
that seems
a lot of people, it's very quick.
That does seem.
Why this style? Why Kolsch?
So I wanted the whole concept as well as what we wanted to do is do interesting beer styles from around the world, but make sure that we capture that essence of that style. You'll tend to find a lot of new beers that are out there that are 5 different malts and 6 different hops. It's it's interesting, but it's to the point where I just wanted to do something that was cleaner and really true to the origin of the beer. So what we did was with the Kolsch, for example, when I went to Germany, I was looking at the different styles. Just to do a German lager, it's going to be there's so many lagers that are out there, right? With the Kolsch, I found that it was something that we could do that was not that prevalent in Ontario, and it was something that we could add. I felt like we could add a little bit of a different element to it that's a little bit interesting.
So like a gap in the market for a beer like this.
Exactly.
Did that include the branding wise? Because my immediate thing, and I don't know, be honest, like, do you get pissed off if people refer, like, compare it to
VO?
No,
I think about the branding of the actual.
Oh no.
Okay, yeah.
What I wanted to say was, in my mind, like the best. That's why it came to mind for you. The best sort of go-to Kolsch style beer that we love, like I would say, equally would be Lugtred. It's just it has a lot of characteristics that you kind of mentioned before. This definitely is a different profile of a beer. It's like brighter is probably the word I could take for it. So it wasn't like it didn't exist, but it had probably aimed differently. So I guess my question is, did you see not only a gap for this type of beer because there isn't a shit ton, but also the marketing style, which I'd like you to touch on because I think that's fascinating, and that's it's going to be part of the success because you're drawing people to the beer with the way it looks. So did you feel that there was like a gap for like something that looked like this that talked to a non... You told me this once before, so I don't want to step on it, but do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, so I guess there's two things on the taste, I'd say, and then the concept behind our branding, the taste side of it. So through my travels through Cologne, I had a bunch of Kolsches. So the big ones that you've heard of: Reisdorf, Fru, Gaffel, Scion. There's a bunch of big Kolsch brands, and I personally found that the Kolsch that exists, including Lugtred, didn't taste like the real Kolsch. It's just that those the true style Kolsches I found were just lighter. There's like Lugtred is a great beer. It's one of my favorite.
It's a lagered ale, so I think it has a little bit of a.
It's absolutely the same style, but the way they use Ontario. I believe they use Ontario organic ingredients. They brew it on a heavier end, so they're at 5.2% the alcohol.
And this is
we're 4.8.
Oh, okay.
And that's like the generally the Kolsch style is at a 4.8.
Yeah.
It's just they do it a little bit differently. I just felt like you could add that true to style Kolsch, and it would be different enough. And so far, a lot of people, especially if they've done a side-by-side taste comparison, you'll tell they're very different beers.
Yeah.
I'd like to do that actually sometime.
Yeah, so just a side note. And then the other side of us, which is like the design element, is that we just wanted to do everything that was a little bit cleaner. What I tended to find was like on the craft beer shelves, everything started to look homogenous in terms of super bold cuts and like cartoonish figures. And, and to me, that's cool. And like I get like a lot of the time I like those designs, but just being the next one of those wasn't really what we wanted to do.
Right.
So we wanted to do something that was a little bit more clean, a little bit more edgy, and everything that we've done is organic. So
that's great.
So the whole labeling, the whole branding has been done with a great friend of mine, Balraj, and myself. We collabed to do all of the design work. Balraj definitely did all the execution on this. Okay. And then the whole For the Six movement was, it honestly was, as it was like a side shoot of Lost Craft. It was really just, I'm from Toronto, born and raised, came up from Scarborough, went to school here, worked here.
Scarborough represent.
And
can't say Scarborough without.
Yeah, you have to lick a few shots.
That's my Scarborough boy, just across the street there. So
Scarborough is in the building officially tonight.
So we just want. I also kind of felt like there's a lot of people repping certain parts of the city, like which ones they are all around. And I just really felt there wasn't really anyone branding themselves like we're proud that we're from Toronto. Yeah. And I think for the biggest time, there's a lot of beer companies, or there's a lot of companies in general that shied away from that branding because they felt that it wasn't exportable anywhere else. And I beg to differ on that point. I mean, obviously, I think things have changed, and Toronto's definitely got like a new edge now. But we wanted to be that that Toronto beer. That's where we're from. That's where the whole everything that I've learned throughout my life has been through like the diversity in the city, and I love the city. It's beautiful. Beautiful people. It's a movement, and that's what we're trying to embody, and it's been picking up steam as we talked about before.
Was the brand first, or was the beer first, or did they kind of come at the same time?
Came at the same time.
Okay.
It's really weird, It's a very weird story. Like the beer came from my travels in Germany, and as I was doing that, I was also I had a couple other. I was traveling the U.S. and a few other places, trying to get inspiration for what we were doing, and just kind of all came together at the same time. Like For the Six came about where me and my designer were talking on the phone and just like getting really frustrated. We're like, what are we gonna do? Like we just didn't know, and then all of a sudden it was just like, boom, this is what we're gonna do. He like put the cut up, sent me it on my phone. I'm like, oh my god,
perfect.
money,
Yeah.
You know? And it just everything's kind of flowed, you know. Even collabing with the brewmaster again, that's another weird story where I'm like, you know what, I have these ideas, but I need a trusted partner because I'm not, you know, a trained brewmaster. I called a few guys, and you know, Jamie, who's our guy, you know, came like, you know, all similar interests. We're a rugby guy, you know, from my area, like, you know, all the same things. We just clicked instantaneously, and he's like, yeah, we're gonna work together, and you know, it's just been popping ever since.
Beautiful.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, I guess a couple of questions I have. I guess to take it on this side of it is why beer? Like why decide to make a beer? I mean, it's a great time for beer. Craft beer is probably as big as it's ever been. We've looked into it. We've been wanting to do this, kind of why we started this shit, because we wanted to do it. So that's why we're additionally fascinated that you've managed to do this shit. Not only have you done it successfully, and you, which I want to speak to as well, you fucking got it in all these places across the city yourself, knocking on doors, which is G, and then you got it in LCBO, which is crazy. But like to get into that and have to deal with that's a lot of work, a lot of money, a lot of energy, a lot of connections, a lot of like string pulling. Like why beer, knowing you were about to get into that?
So why beer is real easy. It's just like, I was always a beer guy, you know, and I traveled a lot. I worked for a European bank, and I traveled in my past life, traveled a lot in Europe, had family up there. And I would always find, like, I'd go to those places, drink the beer, love the beer, and I just felt like I couldn't get it here. And if I did, it would be really expensive or import or stale because it'd be on a ship, you know, shipped over here. I just couldn't get it. So I was just always a beer guy. And if I was going to do anything, I knew it was going to be in the beer space, and I just wanted to do something that I was super passionate about. And I was passionate about that European brewing style that I felt, you know, Steam Whistle, shout out to Steam Whistle. Greg Taylor was one of the first guys that talked to us. But, you know, that pioneering emphasis of, you know, there's a great style of brewing that exists that I think I really felt that I could bring back here in a legitimate way that was different than everyone else. And I think it's the same mentality anyway that Steam Whistle had when they came out and said, you know what, we want to make the best Pilsner in the world, and we think we can brew it locally. Same concept for us. It's like I really thought that we could do great beers, not necessarily just from Germany, but just from anywhere, but do it a little bit differently and really represent the city and what we're doing.
That's sick, man. Did you have plans to go into different styles of beer? I mean, you got this bad boy now. Like, I think I did ask you once before. I don't recall what the answer was, but so you got this one for now. You're comparing it to Steam Whistle. So does that mean that you plan on sticking with that for the one?
Are you going to do one beer really well, or is there going to be a line of lost craft beers?
Yeah. I don't want to share too much.
Or is that too right? Are we getting ahead of ourselves?
Just curious on future ambitions.
We're working on some things, is how I describe it. So for the next 12 to 18 months, for sure, this is our push. This is our flagship. Will always be our flagship beer. But we are working on potentially doing some seasonals and some other offshoot products, but it's early stages right now.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, so then I kind of jumped ahead to that one because I was just really curious. So you decide you want to make a beer. You go into Germany. You've seen these styles. You've cold called, I assume, brewmasters. I guess you find these motherfuckers. You'd be like, hey, what up? I want to make this thing. Meet up with them if they're interested. And then you're like, okay, we've got a deal. You make the deal. Then what? Then how do you, like, I guess more for the people who knows, how does a fucking beer come about? Like, how does this even happen? Like, how do you get it from
an idea to a can on your table?
There's so many steps that just the people don't know, and like that transparency, like, you know, is super rare to find. Like.
Yeah, so I'd say you got to get. There's a whole bunch of government licensing that you need, obviously.
Okay. Do you do that? Do you have to get that before you find a place to make it? You either buy a brew, like what are your options?
You can kind of kind of do it at the same time, but ultimately to get your license, you need to have produced the beer.
So you know what I mean? So like, before you get the license, you got to find out either you got to drop half a mil, quarter mil to build a brewery, or you rent space in a brewery.
Yeah,
contract brewing.
You get
so can you explain contract brewing, just for the motherfuckers who don't know this?
Yeah, so contract brewing is essentially you're renting the space of an existing brewery to brew your beer. So the issue is that to build a brewery, you know, costs 2 to 3 to 5 to 10. It costs as much as you want, essentially,
right? Exactly.
And a lot of breweries have excess capacity, so what they'll do is they'll offer up their tanks for you to use, and you just pay them on on a per basis, whatever, liters, hectoliters, whatever it is.
You have to bring all your own ingredients.
Exactly,
Everything is just literally you can use their hoses and their fucking kettles and stuff.
And I'm assuming you have to have some sort of qualification to use this equipment, and so you can't just roll up and be like, "Hey, I homebrew. Can I brew on your massive equipment?"
So you had to get like Jamie must have some sort of certification. Yeah, okay, this is my partner. He'll be brewing it.
Yeah.
He's going to come and actually do the...
They'll always have brewmasters that can oversee it. But technically you'll have someone from the company that is kind of hands-on, is kind of looking over.
Okay. Do you actually fucking pour the grain? Are you...
when I do everything. I mean, I deliver, I sell,
every element. That's great.
It's like you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, that's the...
Gotta hustle.
Fantastic. You have to. Okay.
And you were saying, I guess... What else do you have to do? I guess. So
once you got your beer, you got your brewmaster. Now you've contracted brewing because you're like it's cheaper to do that and smarter because you want to get settled first and rather than get into.
At least when you're starting, right?
That's what I'm saying. You're getting $500,000 debt unless you have good savings or a rich uncle, or an investor or some shit. If you don't have that, excuse me, and you've done all your math, you've done all your figures, you've worked out what a brewmaster is going to cost to work with you, or you partner with them, and then you make the beer. And then you got to start applying for licenses.
You got to actually get your license before technically a contract brewer will make your beer. But what you can do is you can get
that going.
You can get it going in ways, but essentially you just need to get that final product. Ultimately, get your final license. But you can start the ball rolling.
Right.
Describe it.
Right.
To get all that stuff done. Then obviously, you need to figure out your packaging and all this stuff. Obviously how you're going to actually sell the beer, kegs, cans, whatever it is.
So did you have a marketing team, or was that just all you? Right. Okay, you're the marketing team. That's what I was curious about. Yeah.
But you touched on something that I think deserves a bit of time, which is, I've heard a lot of, you see a lot of press now about how there's so many breweries out there in Ontario and it's kind of getting saturated. But first, let me point out, we're still not even close to this level of saturation like places like Alberta and the States, where there's way more, right?
Yeah.
Fully privatized market.
So it's a good time.
Yeah, we're still not saturated by any stretch of the imagination. And there's another, you always hear this, I think, from people that have very strong opinions about beer, is they really look down on contract brewers. It's like, oh, those guys aren't real.
They don't take them seriously.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I went all in on every single cent that I own to get this thing off the ground, right? It's serious to me. Just because I don't have bricks and mortars doesn't mean that. You got to buy truckloads of cans, kegs, distribution, storage. Yeah, it's not a cheap thing to build a brand. It's very, very expensive.
And you put your balls up for this shit.
So I think that hate that you see a lot of the time is just people just think that everyone has $3 million to drop on building a physical brewery. And also when you want to get the product to market, you gotta remember that you need to start selling stuff. You gotta start seeing do people like the beer? It's I'm gonna build a brewery and I don't know if anyone's gonna like my beer. Maybe they will. It's a
what
hard.
Do you do that? How do you determine that? Do you make small batches first?
It's a good question. Yeah, I mean.
So how did you do? What did you do? If you don't mind sharing, I think this is just a fascinating topic that is so rare that someone speaks, because there's not many people in your position. Or is there? Is there a lot of people? I don't think they're not a one-man fucking situation.
No, there's a few. There's a guy named Woodhouse too in Toronto. You guys have probably tried.
I've had the Woodhouse, the lager. Yeah, it's nice too. Not as nice as Lost Craft, of course.
I didn't pay you to say that. But shout outs to Graham. But it's there's a few hustlers, man. I got my boys at Long Slice too. That's another. Those are three guys, but there's a lot of independent guys that are really working hard to move their brands. To make it work. It's definitely not easy in this game. It's really tough. It's the most competitive business to be in, right? There aren't that many of them, but if you think about getting tap space, getting tap space is very difficult. Yeah. Getting your can on the shelf is tough, right?
Speak to that. How do you get your beer in a restaurant, bar, whatever, and how did you get it in LCBO? You brewed it, you've got the licenses, you've got your packaging, you've decided you're going to go cans and kegs like you did, right?
Yeah.
You don't do bottles yet.
Not yet.
No. So cans are kind of cool. I like them. Then what? So you got that and you're like, all right, fuck, you need to buy my beer.
Yeah, so I just, I knocked on doors, literally I would go on, when we started, before we actually had the physical beer, I had pop-off bottles that I was going to, people with, it's going to taste like this, trust me. Here's a picture of the can, I'm telling you it's going to be dope. And, I would do, we launched at the end of October, and for about 2 months, I was doing probably 10 sales calls a day.
Okay.
And when I say sales calls, it means like I'm just not either I've set it up or I'm knocking on a door. And
there you're talking restaurants and
restaurants and
Brew
bars,
pubs
right?
and bars,
And
yeah.
we launched with around 20 bars. So you can think about the hit rate. There's a lot of rejection, right?
Yeah. What were people rejecting you for?
Roll sharing, guys.
We can check and stuff.
Maybe jewelries in the house espresso.
Beautiful. Sorry, guys, we're getting some food again. This is kind of what happens during a podcast.
Food's great though here.
When you're, yeah.
So, by the way, we're at. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, we didn't talk. Probably should have done that first. But
Yeah, we should have. We're actually at Batch Brewery, which is 75 Victoria Street, downtown Toronto. And it used to be Beer Academy, which we came to a little while back.
Yeah, one of my
Before that, it was
favorites, one of my
Duggan's.
locals. I used to work right around the corner, so
hit
yeah, it's
that
a
up.
really nice looking bar, pub. What is it? I don't know. It's a lot of things. I feel.
This feels like a restaurant, like a
Yeah.
brew pub, like restaurant style.
Yeah.
They've got the big kettles and stuff.
Yeah, downstairs. Yeah.
Which are pretty good. And they've got a bunch of their own beer. Looks like there's 6 here, and they've got a bunch of other local. They got Lost Craft, of course.
Well, I believe this is
Granville.
owned by Creemore, and when it was Beer Academy before, I remember they carried a lot of Creemore products. So I'm assuming they just kind of rebranded, maybe, or you know.
Yeah, I think they might have. It feels like they rebranded.
Yeah, so they're doing, I shouldn't say verbatim, but they're basically doing a couple of Creemore brands that are only going to be brewed here.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then they're also shipping in like some beers directly in from Creemore. But I think the intention is on tap. It's going to be either in-house brewed or from Creemore.
Nice.
But kudos to Creemore guys, right? I mean, they did bring in a selection of beers that are not
Their own.
their own,
Right,
right?
yeah, that's cool.
cool.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
A lot of guys
You know,
wouldn't do that, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So
It's not like craft beer. We always say this, like
The community.
the
is,
community.
yeah.
We always say we go to different brew pubs, and we're particularly when we're out of town, and they're like, hey, they see us doing all the reviews and all that shit, and they're like, yo, what are you guys saying? Like, where you from? We tell them, and they go, oh, cool. Where else are you checking out? And we tell them, and they're like, oh no, you got to go here, here, here. Like. That doesn't happen in a lot of other industries. You go to a restaurant and they go, oh, you got to go here, here. They're not going to fucking say that shit.
Yeah, stay here, eat our
I think
food.
yeah, totally. I think it's super dope that brew pubs tend to do that a lot. It's fantastic. And the fact a place like this is stocking other Toronto breweries that aren't huge. I mean, I saw the side launch Collingwood. There's a couple of smaller breweries like that are still picking up steam and stuff, and then stocking you. It's amazing, man.
yeah.
So knocking at the doors.
So yeah.
Sorry, I know we got.
Yeah, no worries. So I guess you're asking, what was the rejection factor? Why?
Yeah, did they say, like, we're full right now, we don't like beer, we don't like the brand?
Yeah, time to change menus, right? It's like there's a whole bunch, you got to change menus. They have relationships with other, companies. There's you're also like, we didn't actually even have a product, right? A lot of people come back and talk to me when
When
we
you have
actually
something,
a product.
right?
But there's a few, guys, like shout-outs to companies like 11, Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment, the Saints out in Ossington,
11,
Lisa Marie, yeah.
Oh, they carry it?
Yeah,
Nice,
they
man.
were one of the first. They were actually the first to sign up to the Lost
Beautiful.
Craft movement, right? And you're thinking of them as like a super corporate entity.
Right, yeah.
They supported an independent.
That's awesome.
And Boston Pizza or something, wasn't it?
No, not Boston Pizza, yet O&B. So the whole
Oliver
O&B
Bonaccini, yeah.
Yeah, the whole
Yeah, those are
O&B
sick.
were also one of the first super early adopters. And again, you're thinking like,
That's really cool.
bigger corporation. But they were one of the first people to bring us in on top.
Oh, shit.
And so we just relationships, really hustling and pushing hard, and we got that first couple at the shoot, and then slowly build, then referrals, and then obviously we pride ourselves on the best service in Toronto. So you're getting that referral business through friends and friends, in the industry, right? It's a small industry. So that's kind of how it's slowly grew. But I mean, to start, it was just hand-to-hand combat, knocking, and just being relentless, And that's the name of the game.
I was gonna ask, were you picky at all with the places you wanted to have your beer? Like I know you're not just selling a beer, you're selling a brand, right? So you want to put locate yourself accordingly, or was it kind of just whoever will take it, just get your name out there to start?
Good question.
Yeah, so I've heard this before, where don't get me wrong, we were picky in the sense that we wanted to have our beer in place that we felt like hit our demographic, which is that it could be anywhere from 19 to 45 maybe. Shout out to everyone over 45. Like, don't get me wrong, you can drink a glass of
That's
crap,
right.
too.
We don't have our stats yet.
But no, I just mean we wanted to hit that like demographic that I thought that our brand would resonate best with.
Of course, yeah.
So we it wasn't intentional, and I'd say generally speaking, I just want everyone. Like I think we've made a fantastic beer, and I just want everyone to try it. Right? Like I don't want to. I feel that our brand will stand on its own, right? And the place that it's in, I'm sure will hopefully, if it's not attracting that demographic, hopefully that demographic comes because they like
The
our
beer's
beer.
there, yeah, exactly.
But we have a great roster of awesome bars and restaurants in the city, that are carrying us, and I'm proud to say everyone. I mean, everyone that wants to work with us, we're happy to work with.
Cool.
We'd never say no to someone who wanted to bring in Would you? Craft.
Good question. Would you say no?
No.
Like, what if it was like I was trying to like a shithole dive bar or something, but it's like, well, you might, I guess you wouldn't. Why would you say no? Because it doesn't, the brand will stand out amongst itself and it'll still attract your right consumers. But what if it's like such a shitty bar that like it's only like fucking Dero cunts go there, and there's like nobody you really.
Unless you gotta.
Sorry, push you.
This is going somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where it's going, but
you brought it up.
what I'd say is that unless that organization was morally not
like if they're a
aligned
bunch of
with,
racists, you probably won't sell your product.
You know what, guys? I don't want you.
Yeah.
You don't want Donald Trump fans.
Go treat yourself with a Molson Canadian 67 IPA or something.
Session IPA. We were just talking about.
Oh god, I saw a commercial. I almost barfed.
Have you had it?
No, I just saw a
I had it for
commercial.
lols a few beers ago. It's terrible.
I love
the
beers
last
for
time
lols.
Yeah, I know. Let's say, because John was like, I'm sorry, go.
Well, I was just going to say, just on that point, because I feel like it's like the reverse of the whole mentality of this whole image that people have of these beer snobs, right? It's like you're playing, like, I'm the guy that's going to bars and they're telling me no, right? And for me to flip the script on someone for like a superficial reason, being like, I don't like your sign, it's not like nice enough.
Be unfair.
It's hypocritical.
Right, absolutely.
I think so. It's not our style.
Yeah, cool.
We're the beer of the people,
The people's beer.
People's beer.
I like
That's
it.
real shit. I had a bunch of stuff I wanted to go.
No.
We were just saying earlier, you were asking me when's the last time I trashed the beer. And before you guys came, when's the last time we talked shit? And I was like, fuck, I don't know. And I was like, with the Canadian 67 Session IPA, which I'll proudly say was fucking garbage. And it was just because it was a macro beer.
Right.
But that's what I was just saying. It was interesting you brought that up. We were just talking about it. And I can't think of too many beers that we trashed because when we started the 365,
We got all the shit ones out of the way to start.
What was the Navigator 10% and the Fax?
There were some bad
you did
ones.
5 Faxes in one night. Those Danish, Denmark. But like the white can's cool, and maybe the one up, the Amber or something. But then he did like the 8, 9. They're fucking disgusting. It's just piss water. But anyway, we don't drink bad beers anymore except for lols. The Bud Light Apple, I drank that. It was alright. I didn't mind that. Come front, tastes like cider. And the 67 IPA is terrible. And the last one we actually trashed was that early beer and other shit video for the 9 Pilsner.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's fucking horrible.
Which is, we're gonna...
I know we're in the Grimwald. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay, sorry, guys.
Well, the Brewmaster hollered that back at us.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I do like Creemore in general. I am a fan.
I am a fan.
Just that particular beer, I was not
All their
a fan
shit was
of.
lit, and all of a sudden they did this fucking lot 9, and that was after Molson bought him. So I think I reviewed it on whatever on Instagram, and one of the Brewmasters like commented, then he like DM'd me and shit. So I thought that was cool enough that he even talked to me, because I was like, yo, did they fuck with your recipe? And he said they didn't. And they wanted to make something that appealed to it. So I was like, oh, okay. And it was not a good beer. I don't have anything wrong with Pilsner. It was like, it was a good fucking beer. So anyway, it was the last time we talked shit. And I'm happy that we don't talk too much shit about beers.
Every beer has its place, right? I mean, like you said, it doesn't have to be the biggest, hoppiest, burn your tongue off, like ridiculous imperial double this or that, right? Like I'm really enjoying this beer, and it is clean and simple, and there's like not a ton of in-your-face flavors, but it's all there. It's balanced. It's delicious.
I'm enjoying this more. It's nice and sweet as well. Like,
exactly.
I've had it a bunch of times, but right now, like, it's just going down like really good. It's a fantastic beer.
Going down the treat, as you would say.
A treat. For you cunts. So I'm gonna ask something also controversial, and I apologize.
That's okay.
So we've talked about this, privately before, but like, I wanted like. The clickiness of the craft beer thing. So I asked someone, we asked Jason about this briefly. We interviewed last podcast, this guy Jason, I don't know how to say his last name.
Kucharawi. I got it. I figured it out.
Kucharawi? Okay.
Cooch,
he said it like
wizard.
5 times.
Shout out to Kucharawi.
Shout out to Jace. So we did it the last 2 episodes, and he, why did I bring him up? Fuck man, I'm losing my thing. We were talking about it with him because we were saying that you mentioned briefly that there's like a code that you have to follow to get into the beer world. You go through the
you have to have a story.
LCB,
he was saying,
or whatever. You got to have a story, but it was like, and that's why he was saying that there's this stuff about contract brewing. Because folks who don't know much about that might not be familiar. Because it was somewhat new to us, like that there's like not beef, but like people are looked down upon, not from, but like from within the industry. And because you didn't knock on the door of the Ontario Craft Brewing Association, whatever the fuck they call it, and be like, hey guys, thanks man, beautiful. Oh yeah, we got them bad boys.
just got some food coming here, getting into the old curry chicken flatbread. I'm about that life. That is the mac and cheese, yeah.
Because you didn't holler at these, the Ontario Craft Brewery thing, they shun you somewhat from like, it's like the governing body or like a fucking union of craft beers or something. So I guess my question is, because, well, you didn't go that route from what I understand, or how does the politics of the industry apply to a craft brewer? Because this is like, for anyone who's an aspiring home brewer who'd like to turn it into something which you've done, this is like an interesting thing that they will deal with in Ontario. Like there's a governing body of brewers who have a particular way of operating, and that may affect the way that they get treated somewhat in their early days. Do you want to speak to that somehow? All right.
That was very approving.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Everything just smells awesome. Like damn. Thank you, baby. You want to have some? Grab some. Sure.
Peas?
I'm good. Thanks, man. So politics. I think it's like a thing where it's just like in life, right? There's good and bad people everywhere. Different people have their own like agendas, and I don't want to say that like there's like a negative attitude from the biggest brewers, because a bit of our story about how we started was, Steam Whistle, which is one of the largest, if not the largest, member of the OCB, the Ontario Craft Brewers Association. Greg Taylor, I figured out his email somehow, and I emailed him, and I was like, hey, can you talk to me about this? I'm not in the industry at all, but I'm really interested in doing this. Would you talk to me? He's running Steam Whistle, right? And he spent 2 hours with me having pints at the brewery, talking about it, giving me like his experience in the industry and how, he actually told me that, it's a very tough industry. Like, I don't say he told me to get into it, but he just gave me advice, and not many people would do that, right? I reached out to a lot of people, and he was the only one that did that. So I don't want to put it as a big guy versus little guy necessarily. It's just some people want to help you and some people don't, and that's just the way that it is. I think with the macro guys, or like the bigger guys that have bricks and mortar facilities, I think it's a basic competition issue, right? Because they're looking at it saying, well, I just invested $3 million to make.
Why am I going to give you all my trade secrets and get you ahead of the game?
And you haven't done anything, but you're going to get. You want to make a beer as well, and two people look at our beers on the shelves, they look very similar.
Right.
So why is this situation? Why did I invest that money?
Right.
Obviously, there's a cost benefit for them to do that. So here's a reason, but I think that dynamic tends to be consistently kind of felt in the industry, where a lot of contract brewers feel like they're not given the proper look overall in Ontario. Like, one of the rules is, to be OCB, you have to contract brew. If you're a contract brewer, you have to contract brew with an OCB member. At least that was the way that it was. It might have changed recently, but for the longest time that was the way that it was. And then so it's easy for any OCB member to not allow you to get in there. It's like, okay, well, I'm not going to let you brew here, right? So Cool, which is one of the main breweries in Ontario that does contract brewing. I don't believe that they're OCB, so like if you're brewing there, you can't get that membership, and that membership doesn't really have that many. I mean, it has benefits for sure, but like to do certain beer festivals, you got to be OCB, and to get certain visibility. And OCB was one of the big. Shout out to OCB. I mean, they were one of the big people to lobby, right, the government to make the changes that happened, right, and that's big. Like people think that okay, well, it didn't really affect that much for the little guy, but it did. Opening the market up and getting visibility for craft beer to broad-based consumers is a good thing. It's absolutely a good thing, whether that's Steam Whistle that's on the shelf in Amsterdam and whoever, or it's Lost Craft. It's good that people know that there's alternative products that are brewed in Toronto that are local. And the OCB was they put big dollars, behind that movement, and it, bore fruit, bear fruit in the end. So, I just think that in the politics game, I think there's an old guard in the industry, but I think also like there's this mentality that, with us, as you know, like one of the stories that I've told you is, we didn't, just because we were like, you can imagine it's a one-man show, I'm not running around doing production, like we're worrying about the recipe, the production, all this other stuff, make sure everything's kind of going together. We didn't have a PR company, although we're working with one, shout out to Rakira, I just didn't have time to do that thing of like, who should I reach out to? I don't know. I don't know who I'm going to reach out to. I just want to make my beer and make sure that I don't screw it up, and get it out to market and make sure people are drinking it. There's certain well-known bloggers, I think, and people that have followings in the industry that probably would have liked us to give a shout out to them before we got in, and we weren't trying to be offensive in any way. It just didn't happen that way. But for us, it's like we're definitely, when I say the people's brand, like we just want to get that beer out. We think it's a great beer, and we just want to get people drinking it, right? Politics aside, we'll reach out to anyone that wants to talk to us, as you know.
Yep.
Anyone that's we had a student from Ryerson at Brewfest where I met you.
Yep.
We had a student from Ryerson say, "Hey, I'm doing a project on us. Would you mind doing an interview with us?" And I immediately said yes. And I don't know that anyone else did. I mean, it doesn't really matter who you're talking to, right? It's like anyone that's interested in your story, you should be happy to tell.
Absolutely,
I agree. It's like an entrepreneurial mindset. It's like expanding the network, and you never know how you can help each other.
Exactly.
So that's why I appreciate you answering, hitting me back, and here we are, whatever, a few months later, and we finally got this, and now we're working on some stuff, and I think that's really cool. And that's the attitude you got to have to be an entrepreneur, like to grow a business. Like I sort of been thinking about that lately. I don't know, like one of our things that I've been doing is like, if we ever meet someone, like, let's just get a beer, let's grab a coffee, and, like talk to motherfuckers and like build. And I think that's such a really cool entrepreneurial trait. I don't know. You never know what can happen from it. Maybe nothing, but there's one more person who might like you, who's familiar with your brand, and then they're going to be at the top of their mind when your lane comes up in their world, and like everyone should have those people around. It's very cool.
We first met in a snowstorm.
In a snowstorm at the local in Liberty Village and shit.
Nice.
Just off an email, like random.
Shout outs to local.
Yeah, shout outs to local dope place.
So many shout outs to this podcast. Shout out everyone.
We'll get the intern to link to them in the show notes.
Yeah, yes. We need lots of links.
Intern. Yeah. We need an intern. If you want an intern, holla. Yeah, man, that's fucking lit. There's a bunch of stuff more now. Okay, so you touched on that. So, excuse me, it is possible. You're living proof that it's possible to not go through the channels, the traditional channels, to make a business in this industry happen. And now you're in the LCBO. So that's fucking amazing. So salute for that. It's crazy. Beer store. How do you feel? How does that affect your life? Are you trying to get in there? Like, do you want to speak to that? Because now you're in the LCBO, which is a huge win, because it's better for craft and it's more prestigious, I would say, too, being the beer store still owned by a bunch of, agro-corporate cockholes. But now that I know beer store are making more room for craft brewers and stuff, I don't know if that's got to do with the OCB or not. Do you want to speak to that, if that's okay?
Well, I've read briefly. I think that I think that a bunch of craft brewers now are owners or shareholders in the beer store.
Okay.
So I think there's some changes that are going on there. us personally, beer store is it's a very simple model. It's a pay-to-play model. You can get your product on the shelf at a beer store. The issue is, are you do you have the right spacing at the beer store to sell your product? Your product has to be visible. If you're on that huge board and no one can see you and all that product's in the back, you're never going to sell if you're a craft beer, right?
I'm noticing now beer stores is kind of following LCBOs model and displaying their tall cans, and people are just grabbing off the shelf, which makes so much more sense than having that board. I remember looking at that when I was like, in my early 20s, being like, I don't know, and then you end up picking one of the top 10 anyways, right? Oh, give me Budweiser, right?
What's on special.
Right, what's on special,
right,
exactly. So at least if you have an option, tangible options right there, and you see this cool can, and you're like, yeah, let's give this a try. That would be worth your while to get in there. But
it is a shame. I worked at the beer store like 10 years ago. The one I worked at had Cedar Break, Scarborough, you know what it is? I mean, that was the hood. And like, it was a real beer store. Like, they had shelf space, and it was dope. But I just noticed I like moving around Toronto, so I didn't grow up with it. So I didn't know. I was like, what the fuck is this? And you walk in there, and it's just like an empties return, and then you got a board. Like,
that's it. Yeah.
It's like overwhelming. Like, it's not positioned for a craft or anything except the top 10 beers to sell. They even had that top 10 beer fucking like blackboard on the wall.
Yeah, that's it.
So I guess no interest in getting into this or at this point, then being that it's like makes no sense really for your clientele.
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously worked real hard to get that LCBO listing, so definitely want to make sure that we're positioned well within that channel. With the beer store, you just want to be in probably not every store has that.
Right.
Model,
Yeah. That's kind of the newer ones.
Yeah. So you kind of really just want to be in those stores, particularly where you can make an impact. And as you grow and as your brand becomes more recognizable, then you can offer 24 packs of your beer. People will go buy it, and then it doesn't have to be that visible.
Right.
It can be in the back. So it's kind of like beer stores probably it's an evolution. You want to evolve into that, and the way you do that is you build at least my perspective on it, build your brand awareness through the licensee chain, get through that LCBO thing where people start to know about you, and then when people start to know about you, then it makes more sense to get that beer store listing. It's just another sales.
Another step in the ladder, really, right?
But I think typically people that go to the beer store, I think I've heard this anecdotally. I'm sure that there's a study behind this, but 90% of the people that go to the beer store know the beer that they're buying before they go to the beer store.
Absolutely. I'd agree with that completely. Yeah.
And the reverse is true in the LCBO.
Yeah.
Where it's 10% of the people in the LCBO know the beer that they're buying.
Crazy. I never thought of it. That's really the big difference, right? They're completely opposite in that sense.
So
this is the way the beer store is set up.
That's a big part of it. Yeah, exactly.
I don't want choice. Give me Bud. Give me Canadian.
Yeah, exactly. What's on
the big
sale?
boxes on sale.
Yeah.
And if you wanted choice, you go to the LCBO. And if you want, typically people go to the beer store because they want to get a couple cases, right? They're throwing a party.
Yes.
Right? They're not
Right. You're going for volume in the beer store. You're going for quality in the LCBO for the most part.
Or variety.
Variety. Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
I have noticed though a lot of the beer stores, the ones you said that are changing, that have the kind of grab and go tall cans, also have touchscreen ordering systems now.
Yeah.
And you can browse by category, and you can browse by Ontario and by craft and stuff like that, which again just is giving you more variety, whereas before it was just really basic,
That's fucking sick. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, the one by me has it. It's a smaller one, but it's been renovated, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
One of those little rooms.
And they have fly monkeys, and they have some Granville Island, and nothing too crazy yet, but options where I'd actually go and purchase something, whereas before I'd be don't even bother going to the beer store.
What's the process for an LCBO? Is it pretty easy or straightforward compared to it, or it's a headache?
No, I feel like nothing's easier straightforward in this.
And again, people, the LCBO model, I think it's definitely regimented and kind of strict, but to me, overall, the concept of it, I kind of understand. Now, I'm saying that from the position that I got into LCBO really quickly, so obviously I have a bit of a bias here.
Right.
But I think the concept that they kind of try to say is you need a very you need to present them with a business plan. It's kind of like how you would go to any major corporation and ask, hey, I want you to stock my product.
Sure.
LCBO is the biggest alcohol buyer in the world. You should be on point. Just having a piece of paper with a notepad being hey, this is my beer, carry it, and it's probably not going to get you in. Right. And the other thing that they focus on is they want variety of product. So remember I was mentioning like the Kolsch. So when I first submitted, you know, the Kolsch style was not prevalent in Ontario. When I submitted, actually there was 5 Kolsches, true to style, like beers that were like pure lager ale style that were in Ontario, only 1 import, right? So when they're taking out boxes, they're gonna say like, do I have that beer already? So I can tell you, like when I met with them previously, like, you know, if you want to do another IPA, it's gonna be really hard for you.
Yeah,
you gotta have that
so saturated, right?
That IPA that's so great, and with the brand, like the marketing behind it, that's crazy. That's gonna justify them putting another IPA on the shelf.
One, right?
You know, it's just like any kind of company would think. So you just kind of gonna be on point with them, and you know, there's.
You throwing chicken wings across the room? What's going on here?
Beef ribs on the floor.
Beef ribs on the floor. Classic Craig Thorne. Just meat everywhere with this guy. Can't stop him, yeah.
Can't stop my mouth.
Meat in his mouth.
Continue, sorry.
With regards to the LCBO, when you finally got in the LCBO, did you have any say in which locations you were stocked at? Or did they determine that? Or was it a collaboration? Or like, how many are you at? Do you know?
Yeah, so we're in over 30 now. No, it's actually, again, same story as the bar and restaurant thing. It was we go to every single store, we phone every single store, and try to get them to store.
Each individual LCBO? Oh, really? So it's not like you're listed and then they distribute it. You're like, hey, can you distribute me? Hey, can you distribute me? Hey, can you do... Wow. That seems a little tedious. I think it'd be like...
There's different models, so you can go through the LCBO warehouse and have the stores order you.
Right.
But given, you know, our grind and what we're trying to do, it's like I want to tell that story to every single, as long as it's physically possible. I want to tell that story. So for us, what made sense is going the direct distribution model, which means you deliver directly to every store. You can go through the LCBO warehouse, which is you ship like a bunch of beer to the LCBO warehouse, and then all of the stores order from that warehouse.
Okay, cool.
And when you have like very like distribution to like Thunder Bay and like really far away, you know, it makes sense to do that model.
Right.
But when you're focused like us right now
Toronto,
in Toronto, GTA, shout outs to Aurora.
Big up Aurora.
They just started carrying us.
Right, we just big up to Aurora.
Shouting at this episode.
This episode is called Shout Out. Straight up. I'm calling it right here.
Shout out.
So it just depends, I guess. It depends.
Are you in Scarborough? I'm assuming you got some Scarborough representation.
Yes, we're in Kennedy. So I grew up in Kennedy and Shepherd, area.
The one at the Asian Core Mall there?
Asian Core Mall. Bruce.
Straight good, see? How about Morningside? Morningside Crossing? Represent? No?
Morningside Crossing.
Shout out to Morningside Crossing.
Shout out to Morningside. Shout out to Galloway.
Yeah.
Kingston Road.
We're in Kingston and Morningside.
Yeah, that's Morningside Crossing. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, we are
That's
there.
a good LCBO.
We are there for sure.
You saw there's something about that one.
Yeah, they've like amazing craft selection, like strangely enough for that area, but
we're at Dick Park in Danforth. That's the other store.
Okay, yeah.
But I think we just got started like 4 weeks ago on the LCBO. So it's a slow,
brand new, right.
Yeah. So
that's fantastic. Shit, we're looking at
a long one?
15 minutes. Yeah, it's a pretty long one.
Okay, I'm alright with that.
So, okay, man, thank you for shedding all that light on it.
Dude,
thanks for the shout-outs, you know?
No, I appreciate it. I was going to say, where can people find you? So if they look you up online, where can they find you?
Just www.lostcraft.ca, and the handle is Lost Craft Beer on everything. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
So follow them, check it out, check out the beer, cop the caps, the 4 to 6 caps, you got beanies, t-shirts. You had the All-Star joint, which was sick.
Hip Hop Breakfast.
Boom! Hip Hop Breakfast, yeah, this will come out.
This will be after.
Hip Hop Breakfast was awesome, eh?
So good.
Yeah, it was the best shit
eggs
ever.
Benny were amazing.
Oh my god, yeah, that Lost Crowd, we had the drink special.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Up in the den. College of Bathurst, I'm just saying. April 17th, Sunday, April 17th.
Is the next one?
That's the next one.
Wow.
They're coming up in a couple
lined
weeks.
Up, eh?
Yeah, they're monthly now.
Sick.
Monthly. hiphopbreakfast.com. Check that out. So, brother, thank you for coming through. You're a mad cunt.
Wealth of knowledge. Mad respect,
man.
dude.
Appreciate it.
Really do. Fantastic beer. I'm glad we got to finally do it. And
we'll do a little,
cheers
and catch ya, cunts.